this is game 2. I need to go back to game 1 here. Okay. Uh, we're doing Galaxy Championships VOD reviews. These are probably going to come out relatively quickly because these are pre-Darkrai patch, so none of the, no Darkrai, none of the buffs in regards to like A9 or Snorlax will be in play. So we're just going to kind of blitz through these, I think, or maybe 1.5x. And then this one's going to probably be a shorter stream if you're watching live. But I'll hopefully have these up on YouTube relatively quickly. Let's make sure they're locked in Arma. Okay. I don't like these bans. I'm not a really big fan of. I think Urshifu ban is worse. I like the Charizard ban at least in terms of like, it does have some sort of threat. Umbreon ban on red side makes 0 sense. I think it's only worthwhile banning if you're picking it on, or if you don't want to play it on blue, because then you're not B1ing it, and that's a little bit rough, because then they can go double flex on red. But I don't think you need to ban it on blue unless it's genuinely going to be a problem, like one of these people plays it really well. Bad Leafeon first is like, you're picking it for the 4 gank, but you then proceed to probably not pick aggro, which we know they're not. Um, so like, I don't like it first. It's just like super aggro Redmon doesn't do a whole lot past like 7, and I think that's an issue. It needs to get so far ahead to be actually valuable that it's only good in ranked, and people don't realize that that's why it's working. Um, Dodrio is fine. I don't have an issue with it. I don't Dodrio is probably like the only speedster that I think I'm okay with seeing red 1-2 because it is flexible into top lane, which means that you're not completely locking yourself into something. It does suck that you lock yourself insanely hard into dive, but they've shown dive. They can pivot, I think, still relatively easily though. Leafeon can sort of fit into a poke comp, which is I think probably the only use for it, post like 7 if you take the Solar Blade. So that's a bit rough. Like I said, I don't love it, but I think it's fine. It's passable at least. Miraidon's okay. I have no issues with it. It does sort of lean towards that dive theme again, and so that's a little bit interesting to see. We'll see how they pivot that way. Uh, they just go Whimsy Sarina. I don't have any problem with this. Miraidon kind of scales late, and so it doesn't do a whole lot early. It's like okay, but it's not necessarily the greatest. And then obviously these two. I don't love LD. I think it's probably the best anti-dive ADC now that I've like, or support now that I've played it a little bit in ranked. I really do like the Cotton Guard ability for that. I think it does provide a good amount of defensive utility. That said, I think it's also a bit of a ranked click because like the value in it is a lot of the times that it does a little bit more damage than the other supports. This is also not the build that I think is good. We'll see if it sticks. I don't like glasses on it. I think it's better to have RFS just so that you get the autos off. Or muscle for sure. Sarina, I have no problem with Sarina. Don't love that, but we'll see if they change it. Um, the only issue here is that these two are wildly different colors, and so there's like you really need like another like you really need to like pick and stick one here, or you're gonna need like maybe like 2 more white mons I think to make this work. Like you need somebody to support this super hard to get into the mid game that it's ahead, and you also need somebody to support this super hard to get to the mid game so that it's not insanely far behind. And so like it's 2 different win conditions in terms of time frame, which is really awkward. Blissey Mamo. I have no problem with Blissey. I think the Mamo's probably fine, but in a perfect world, this would get punished on 4, so I'm gonna say it's bad. Um, Even this feels like a too early Mamo pick because if this goes against Solar Blade, this goes uh like just not the dive set, and then they pick like double range here, right? Like they go like a Mew support, um, and then they send so like you pick Mew support, it goes bot with Sarina. and then you pick like a ranged jungler, the Mammo is gonna get completely owned because you can just go like Mew, right? So if this is Mew, that color is awful, right? So this would be Mew, and then genuinely you could go like Intel or Vina. We'll say Vina just for sake of how easy it is. But Intel works here as well. Um, and then in that scenario, you really only have one range, right? With this being a Solar Blade top, and then you have the Vina in there with wood. You could go, I think, Leaf Storm on Vina. I wouldn't, but you could with that, and then suddenly you still don't have the greatest options. Even then, if this goes Hyper Beam, it's still really rough for the Mammo to actually get any value if they just play a correct poke comp. The Mammo's just a really bad pick here. I think it's still too early on a relatively non-committed team, and they're not non-committed out of like good drafting, they're non-committed out of bad drafting, and so you want to just pick something I think that gives you the highest EV here, which is not Mammo. There's no way it's Mammo. Pikachu makes no fucking sense here. I don't get it. Um, Pikachu's like a green white mon, I think, in my head. Like I think it's probably relatively strong gist in the mid game and probably the early game, so like maybe I mean, it does do a really good job of supportive utility, so it's probably white first, and then like maybe a red or a green. But either way, it isn't hard red or hard blue, which is what you need here. But then again, it does have the supportive utility, so maybe it'll work. They take XP share on Pika, and then they put it, and then they go there. If this keeps XP share, I'm not watching this game. I don't know. I did kind of commit to saying I was gonna watch this game, but I hate this, man. What the fuck is that? This is so fucking bad. Okay, I don't like Pika. Yeah. Same thing, I don't like Dragonite. Like, Dragonite spikes. What level does he spike at? Hold up, let me fucking spike check real quick, because I want to make sure I'm not talking out of my ass here. No, it's physical attacker all arounder D-Knight. Level 1 or 3. And then 8. Yeah, so it's a mid-game spiker. It's probably closer to Sarina. But like this fucking comp it makes no fucking sense. It's a dive comp with all the divers having different fucking time spikes in game, and so it's gonna be so fucking dog shit when your Leafeon wants to go in, but your Sarina isn't strong enough, and then your Dragonite wants to go in, but your Sarina and your Leafeon are now weak, and then you're just in an awkward spot. I like Arma for the poke angle. As long as they play this relatively far back and then just leverage these two, they should be able to just poke these guys out before they can even approach. Especially with the Mammo just playing body block with the Dodrio. Like they're not, these two aren't here to do anything except body block. Somehow the Mammo gets paid off because they fucking go, they basically go double melee where Pika has to use Volt Tackle to get in, and it's just like, what an awful fucking draft. Give me blue, give me red side. I don't know what the fuck's blue doing. Okay, hold on. Let's go back. Like, okay, let's lock in. So they didn't take Pika XP share. They put the Leafeon XP share bot with the LD Sarina top with the D Knight in jungle. Somehow this is even worse than a level 4 gank, I think, because like the XP share is like investing, I guess. It's not even like a good metaphor. The XP tier stunts your growth early, because you're gonna give a lot of XP to your carry, but what it does in return is it gives you a lot of XP for free over the long run, right? Due to its passive. But if you're a Redmon or like an Agromon, like Leafeon, you don't want XP for free over the long run. You want to snowball, and the best way to snowball is to get a fuck ton of XP. Pika doesn't necessarily need a bunch of XP level 1 to 4. It can leverage the XP over the long run a lot better than something like the Leafeon. Giving the Pika XP early doesn't actually change the inherent nature of how the lane's going to play out. However, giving the Leafeon XP early can change the nature of how the lane's going to play out, because if it hits level 4 first and then it gets a kill, it can then snowball that kill into another kill. I think that sort of requires the enemy to fuck up, but they're also playing Dodrio fucking swine up, and they put their Miraidon in top lane. Like, the enemy is not playing this very well either. They've set you up for success by doing the dumbest lane swap of all time. So, in this scenario, I think that you're probably in a spot where it is more worthwhile to keep the XP share on Pika no matter what. Because even if the Miraidon's bot, it's better for the Leafeon to get the XP. If you're worried about like secure or something, that doesn't change anything. So like this Leafeon XP share nonsense makes zero fucking sense. Like it just makes absolutely zero sense. Anyways, yeah, fuck that. Holy shit. I hate it so much. And then we're gonna feed the Miraidon 2 kills for zero reason, and then we're gonna get ourselves staggered because we don't know what we're doing. And I already hate watching Blue Side. They have they have no idea what's going on. They're just picking shit to pick shit. Okay, well, insanely good start for Red. You get a double kill on the Miraidon, and then did they get? They got, I'm pretty sure, a good chunk of the XP there. Leafeon's just in the enemy jungle for no reason. Like, what is the Elda doing? Okay, they have 80 points at like 730, but who cares? Like, this doesn't do anything for them. They're still weaker. Like, why did they break pad? Okay, so the Blissey's trolling. What the fuck is this positioning from Arma? Okay, well, never punished because your mon is broken. Trading neutral objectives, you just let the top crash, if you can, but I think you need to, you kind of need to defend, but let the Regieleki crash. So you don't want it to hit tier 2 here, but that's kind of impossible, I guess. How the fuck did they get so far ahead? Because they were literally in a winning position like a minute ago. I guess they just kind of, wait, the swine up probably died, is that it? No, he still hasn't died yet. They just can't really convert here, and I think here is a good opportunity to snowball and just not converting those kills. Because you have 2 that are extremely low. And then you just kind of walk around their jungle for a couple of seconds, not doing anything. Leafeon gets the opportunity to invade, and then they don't actually lose anything in the terms of the blue buffs. Yeah, they don't get the blue buff back, and so now they're wasting time chasing Leafeon for no reason when they could have just like killed it earlier. But like here, I still think that I want red. I think they're still in a way advantageous position. think the biggest issue is just like, because they do fine here, like 21, 21. I think it's actually probably this pad break. I think that's what fucks them up. Because now they're giving so much XP over for no reason. Even then, you're still in an XP lead. What is like? Is it just fake news that I think they're behind because the score is really bad? I mean, I guess it is, to be honest. The score just like looks bad. It's not actually they're that far behind. The biggest issue is that they've just kind of scored a lot, but that's like the levels are still the same, which is all that matters. And like it's two pads, but I don't think it actually changes much, does it? I guess the D Knight being at 10 is kind of annoying. Because they've hit their power spikes way earlier than they should. Because of that second pad. And like now, they're actually really hard to kill. I mean, yeah, I think that's probably just the biggest issue is like they're extremely hard to kill for literally zero reason because you just don't like you let them get the second pad in because like you just didn't group. I think you just give top. Like if this is the scenario, I think you need to give. They're gonna get it again, yeah. Just play for the team fight, but you can't even kill this arena. Yeah, see now they're sort of running into the issue, which is they don't have any interaction. Like there is no way to like the D Knight did go the correct moveset, which is the hyper beam, and now it's really hard to interact with them. I mean, yeah, you let them score on your base, it doesn't matter. You're gonna win this game at Ray, or you're gonna lose this game at Ray. It's 50-50. Not 50-50, but it's the only condition that matters. Like that's the only thing that matters in this game right now. Biggest issue is just how do you kill them? Because you have no damage. Which again is part of the reason that this Mamo Dodrio sucks, because like I think you have ways to win this game if you just didn't pick Mamo super in a weird spot or Dodrio in a weird spot. Yeah, they can't actually play protect comp, right? Because look at fucking Dodrio. He has nothing to do. And they're gonna get out. Wait, come on. What? Finish off the fucking kill. What? Wait, what the fuck are they doing? What the fuck? So D Knight starts it and they're there, but like, there's no way to secure this, and like, you just leave your armor to die. Because 203, 202. Either you have to just immediately turn, but like this interaction loses the game. Because now the armor is not at the fight. When they have like it's a 5v3, there's no way they burst it down that you need to run that fast. Like just go to the like either just ignore him or go straight to Ray or just play together and kill the Pika and then move. Did Dodrio die? Is that why he didn't? I mean, or just have your Dodrio ult way earlier, but it's already too late at this point. They give him 20 seconds on Ray, which is a little too much. And the game is over. Is Jover. I don't know, I just hated the team fighting. It looked like they had no damage, but that felt really weird to say because, like, I think they have enough damage. Like, that last fight was, I think, how it should have played out 90% of the time, but it's also like you're trying to play a protect comp where you're pocketing your two damage dealers, the Arma and the um Arma and fucking Maridon. Why couldn't I say them? But you can't actually do any sort of pocketing. Like it's such a, I don't know. I picked red, but like that was mostly because I was like, you can just like have the blue side be insanely disjointed and get a bunch of wins that way if you just get the right timers. But I just don't like how they played it. Cause like what went wrong is like they just did that awful fucking pad break really, and I let them have enough XP to get back in the game. Cause you're breaking the pad at 7 minutes. Like what the fuck? You just don't break the pad. You don't do the pad dive. You go farm your camps, and then like even then you can't let that Leafeon fucking run around in your jungle for that long. And if you do, you have to just trade jungles. You have to go. You have to clear the opposite way. There was no moves made in the enemy jungle. Like they stood around and they let the Leafeon get into their jungle for no reason, and that just like it made the game so hard to play because you didn't have your jungle, and then you were giving over the enemy jungle without making any sort of effort in getting damage onto it. But yeah, I don't know. Also, this arena scaled apparently, so. But yeah, man, what the like? This is what I mean. Like, what the fuck? Also, you could have taken XP share on this Pikachu. 100%. This is not enough damage that you're actually losing out on that much by not taking it. This was literally just a... This was a skill diff. I don't know. I hated both of these drafts. I guess I hate red sides less, but hopefully next game will be better. Okay, okay. Same bands. I don't know how you can run this game back. That's insane. This is what's fucking insane to me is that like you literally got demolished by Sarina, and like I don't see how you can run this game back and not even like at least throw the ban in here. Because like if you don't ban Umbreon, nothing changes in this draft, and you're gonna get absolutely owned. Okay, they're doing this fucking dumbass XP share Leafeon again, and we've somehow started with a worst. How do you do this is the worst red 1-2 of all time. I can't with these I hate Eastern Draft. I hate this. This is bad. These, like I said, same as the last time. I'm not even addressing them. This is somehow worse than last time. Like I said, I don't love Dodrio early because I only tolerate it because it's a flex. But then you're picking the flex diver, right? Dodrio is a dive. It can play poke with something that wants to play protect or front to back, right? It it doesn't have any sort of dive or like poke tools, and it's not great in a poke comp because it just kind of sits there. So it really wants to play either an engage comp where it can like go onto the front lines and deal damage and get ice procs, or wants to play protect where people are running into it, and then it just like plays entirely defensively. And then Dodrio wants to play either an engage comp or like a full on poke comp. And so you've somehow you've literally like you've you've just split your two themes in half, and you can't like there's no way to resolve this conflict. There's no mon that does that. Like I didn't like blue side last game because the power spikes were desynced, but I don't think that's a huge issue. Like at least in comparison to what this red side draft. Like this red side draft is genuinely just trolling. Like it's asking to fucking lose the game. Um okay, Hoopa Trev. I like Hoopa. I have no problems with Trev. They're both fine. Uh okay. We have Blaziken and we have LD. So we have two Mons that are relatively defensive and playing more of an anti-engage like defensive protect type comp, but we have nothing to protect, and then we could have just picked it here. Why did we pick? I don't know why they picked Dodrio. It makes no sense. It makes absolutely zero fucking sense to pick Dodrio in this comp. Why? Okay. You're telling me you can't drop Curse Sentence on Pikachu? You need it. And you can't drop XP share for like an actual damage item on Leafeon, man. Like this is some. It's even worse because there's already a cursed item in the game. But this is problem. Like why do you need this cursed item when you have one right here? Just fucking get rid of this, move it here, and then drop one in here. Or if you don't want to do that, then drop it in here. Like, don't have fucking double cursed items against the low healing team comp. Okay, hold up. We're. I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. I hate. I hate these fucking supporters. Eldegoss. So Eldegoss doesn't have a ton of healing. It's got 100. This goes up probably like 600 healing. Okay, cool. Leafage, Pollen Puff. How much healing? We're looking at 1500. Um, Synthesis, Cotton Guard. To be clear, this doesn't count as healing because it's when the shield expires. So as long as you're just doing damage to the shields, you don't actually need heal cut on this one. And then this doesn't do any healing. This does. Okay, 3K. So it's got 3K healing on the ult, which if it has ult, everyone on your team should have ult, so you can, cancel it out with the damage you're doing from your ult. And then we have, 1500 and 600. Hold up. Let's go supporter. Let's go Blissey. We are looking at 76 times 4, 300 times 4, already more than the LD at early levels, right? Because we have synthesis, which is 1090, 300 times 4, 1200. Again, this isn't level 15, but similar ratios, I believe, should be scaling. Let's go like level 4. Level 4. 430, 517 versus 115 times 4. So it is actually slightly more. Scaling is better for Blissey. But like, 1240 healing. 1240 healing times 2. Like, this is only, it's only 1487. Blissey has, infinitely more healing. Like, Blissey is like barely tolerable in terms of picking a cursed item against. And even then, you only need one. You don't need more than one cursed item against LD. It's just fucking a waste of resources. And there are infinitely better things that you can pick and put in there. I mean, just absolutely fucking abhorrent drafting and fucking item building here. Okay, so we pick Arma again. So what we have here is we have, this is basically a dive comp, to be honest. There are like other modes that it could hypothetically play, but this is a dive comp, right? I actually kind of like this one more because they don't have an insanely late game, like game Sarina, and I think that all of these will come online earlier. But even then, like I don't love it. It's just a fucking dive comp. I somehow hate this comp even more because you have drafted this amalgamation of everything that these comps want to do. Like none of this makes sense. None of these mons fit well together in a comprehensive team theming. You just picked 5 ranked mons, and now you're gonna hope to fucking win the game. Like it doesn't make any sense what the red side is doing. Give me blue. I hated blue side's draft in the first game. I like tolerated it though because at least it like sort of had a team theme, right? Like we have hold up. come on. Where's the draft? So like at least it sort of has like a slight poke dive theme that it could go to, right? Where like you could play dive with the LD like using cotton down or like the tornado and flash or like cotton down and flash as well gives you some engage. Obviously engage here, engage here, engage here. Um, but like I said, the biggest issue for me is just that like these were disjointed power spikes, which didn't become an issue because they gave them like 800 free XP for no reason. Um, and then like I said on this side, I don't love the Mamo and I don't love the Dodrio because they're both not super into the team comp. Um, but somehow the lesson that you take away from last game where the biggest issue was that your team couldn't play properly together because you didn't have a good team theming was that you needed to get an even worse team theme because somehow you pick fucking Dodrio, Mamo 1 2, which are anti synergetic to each other. They don't want to play together, right, at all. And so now you're stuck in this awkward position where this Dodrio can really do nothing. Because if this Dodrio ever goes forward, he's going to leave the rest of his team behind. They have no way to follow up, right? And if he plays back with his team, he's just going to get run over and CC'd and he's going to have an awful time. There is like inherently no way for Dodrio to play this game. Mamoswine actually kind of functions similarly, where it's really hard for him because he wants to step forward and maybe try to get some like proactive procs on like icicles and stuff. But if he steps forward, he leaves his immobile carry behind. Blaziken is not necessarily immobile, but it's not necessarily super mobile. And so it's like, it's just like the worst fucking draft I've ever seen, man. This might be the shortest stream I've done because this is insanely tilting. Like, it's so bad. And I'm pretty sure they go to game 3. We're not reinforcing any lessons because we're never punished. I don't know why the LD's in the jungle. It makes so again, um, it makes no sense for LD to be in the jungle, even if you're worried about like a hoop invade, because if they leave the Pika top, right, like well even then, they have to like there is no way for them to invade, I think, without actually giving up an insane like lane giveaway. Because you have to either give away the Pika lane or the Leafeon lane, which they do anyways. But like there's that issue. I also just think that it doesn't really matter if Arma gets a little bit behind because he's gonna be fine. He's not gonna die. Also, if that's the scenario that you're worried about, you put Dodrio in the jungle and then put Arma in a lane. That way he can get farm for relatively safe. They're probably just worried about secure though, but it's fake news. Also, this is what I was talking about last game, where you need to get that Leafeon early XP because the level 5 power spike on Leafeon is more important, or level 4 power spike on Leafeon is way more important than it is to the Phantump. And so the Leafeon having XP share changes nothing. Also, why was the Leafeon going for a score? Does it have a stacking item? Just wait, doesn't it? 143.25. Why are you doing triple stacking in your lane? You have triple stacking items. You know what? I'm tapping out on these god awful item builds. I'm done. Why do you have 3 stacking items? Why does your tree have cookie and weight, and your Leafeon has weight, and so they both go to score, but the Leafeon dies, and now the Leafeon's never gonna hit level 4 until like 840, and then now your Leafeon's already behind, but it's a mon that needs to be ahead to be actually useful, and so it's never gonna get any value now. Like, what the fuck was the point? So they rotate Dodrio into the jungle. I like that. It's a good change to make sure that it actually gets a lot of the farm it needs and can actually make plays rather than just kind of being a bot in the bot lane. Like, what the fuck is Tree doing? Why is it doing that? Leafeon's still level 3 at 810, by the way. He needed XP share. He needed it. He had to have XP share so that he could farm. It wasn't worthwhile to have on the tree. Finally hits 5, immediately dies again. Like, this is exactly the problem with picking Leafeon, is that, like, if you're ahead, your game looks really good, right? Like, the last game, the Leafeon looked really nice. And then this game, it doesn't get a literally perfect start for it, where it can actually get up to level 4 and then actually play the game, and so it's getting fucked. Anyways, Arma is online, it's just going to keep doing damage, and there's nothing they can really do about it. Why are they breaking pad so early? It's 7 minutes in game time. Ugh. This is a rough one. Because you had a lead and now you're giving it. You're giving XP to the enemy team for no reason. We take the worst fight of all time. And then, yeah. This game is a clusterfuck and a fever dream. Because none of these players are, like, why do you need to pad dive here? You have no info and you feel the necessity to pad dive. Also, you don't want to break pad here either way. So pad diving is actively bad for you. Because if pad breaks, your life is miserable. Like, you are in a worse spot if pad breaks because the enemy will have more XP. So, like, why would you ever break pad? I'm losing it at some of these players, man. Um, okay, Hoopa pops ult, and then they should get this for free. The zoning from the Hoop ult is really good. Actually playing it very well. I don't know why it's staying. Yeah, I mean, at least it gets out. That was very risky for no reason. Dodrio steals the Aleki, and now they're pushing bot pad. I don't know why they're the bot pad. The second pad push makes sense to me. I get that, but I feel like these should not be as consistent as they are. Like, if they opted to not fight a lot of these, they'd be in a better spot. At least in terms of, like, pushing these pads in feels so risky. And, like, it doesn't change much. Yeah, Hoopa, you really needed that 110 XP. It was just so mandatory that you had the extra 110 HP. Because otherwise, you wouldn't have hit level 10, you know? Like, that's why you needed to get that extra 110 HP and break that pad there and give the enemy an extra 600 XP this rotation. Yeah, that's why you needed it. Like, just absolutely abhorrent, evil gameplay. Just like, okay, well, at least we have a good setup here where the Leafeon's going to score, and then the Hoopa should ult the Leafeon back in if the tree doesn't die. Okay, now Hoopa needs to ult of his. See, this is like this is genuinely inting because you know because you still have vision here. You know that there are at least two here. You see here. You know that the Armor Rouge was over here. Again, they don't know where armor went, but they know it was over in this area, right? And so you know that there are at least four members over here, five if you want to count the Mamo, which is also on vision, and you're going to take the portal back instead of just asking Hoopa to pop his ult and portal you and the Pikachu back, which is, to be clear, faster, by the way. Like, it's disgusting. It's absolutely abhorrent. And now the Leafeon's dead. Hoopa forced his ult. And now the Hoopa ult's gonna expire as people respawn. So the only one that gets to come back is Tree. They kill the D-Knight. The other two respawn, and now it's staggered respawns. All you need to do is just keep staying alive. Yep. Now the game's over. Which, again, Blue is... This game from this position should be unlosable. Because Blue has no reason to force this fight this hard. What they should do is they should just continue to... Oh, hold up, I did not want to unpause. So right here, right, the Leafeon's going to get plus 82. It's going to be 244, I think. Fuck it, we'll see my math's right. 254, okay, I forgot to carry the 10. So 254 to 321, you're down 70 points, right? So you need to score at least 35. So who on this team has 35? Well, we have one, we have two. So Leafeon just scored, these two are out, right? Hoopa can't move because Hoopa is your ult. If Hoopa moves, that's out. Trev shouldn't move because he doesn't have enough points. You also wanted to play defense or interference for the Hoopa anyway, and then having the Leafeon there is just good. So what you should do is you should set up right over in either over here. You can set up over here. It's relatively risky. I don't like it for that reason. You can also set up back here, down here, right? So I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna label these. You can set up in position 1, position 2, position 3, position 4, or position 5. Setting up in position 5 is bad because if you set up in position 5, which is over, these are going to correspond to the same black numbers on the map, but it's just easier to see black over here. So 5, 4, 3, 2, or 3 should be over here. 2 should be over here, and then 1 should be over here. 1 and 2 are slightly higher up. But in this scenario, you can move to a couple of different positions, right? 5 is sort of off the table just because of how aggro it is and how hard it's going to be to control that space, right? So 5's out of the way. In this scenario, you then have 4, 3, and 2. I'm also going to knock 2 off the table because I think it's a little bit too risky. Right, like it's basically the same as position 5, where if you move too far forward, you're going to get collapsed on. 4 is reasonable, right? 4 is acceptable. It gives you a couple of options to escape, especially out this way. Or, you know, if you want to go out that way, you can go out that way as well. So 4 is reasonable, right? 4 is an acceptable position to play in. Oh, nope, I want to erase this. I want to erase this and this. Now, in this scenario, you have a couple more positions you can play in, right? You have 1 and 3. Personally, I like 3 the best. I think 3 gives you the most options of escape, right? Because you can go up, you can go back, you can go down, right? You have basically 3 different directions you can move while still having direct access to the Ray Pit. Or you have position 1, which again does give you a lot of escape options. You can go up, you can go back, you can go down. I think that down isn't necessarily a great option in 1 because you're probably expecting somebody to be down here by the Ray Pit. When you're in 3, I think that you have space control over this area, and so you're not necessarily expecting someone to be up here. Obviously, Dodrio is, but you don't necessarily need to retreat top, right? Even then, still same options. So in this scenario, we're also going to say, for that reason, we don't like 1 because we want control over the Ray Pit. Now, we have 2 options, right? In both of these options, the optimal setup is to, let me clear this out, I'm going to use yellow, In both these options, the optimal setup is 2 turtle. You want to set up one person like here as a front line, probably the Trev, or one person here as the front line as the Trev, and then have the two either back here and over here, right? Sort of a nice little shitty triangle formation. But the idea here is that um, either one of these, I'm going to use X's right here, one of these two is going to push top pad, and then the other one will push towards bot pad. The reason being is that bot pad is already low. You can get a pretty big overcap, which the enemy did not get. We know that for a fact, right? So you're going to be getting a lot of points there, or if you can get this top pad in, that's another big win. The reason that you want to do this, you want to create pressure on the enemy, right? If you create pressure on these pads, the enemy has to respond, right? This is not an optional response. This is a mandatory response that you are creating by pressuring these pads down. In this scenario, they respond, right? They recall, they go to jump pad. You will know this because you will see less of them on vision. The moment you see less of them on vision, they're going to go here or they're going to go here, they're going to jump pad down, right? When you do this, you immediately hope ult, like right here on the map. Everybody hops through this ult, you rip Ray. Why do this? It gives you first of all, it gives you an advantageous team fight if you're not willing to rip Ray. You can probably get like a 5v3. It also allows you to have an advantage in secure because you can probably draw either the Arma or the Dodrio away, or the Blaziken. Probably more specifically the Blaziken and the Arma away because these two are the big secure threats. And then as well, it allows you to take space because as people move back, right, if you know that two of your teammates are recalling, you have to step back, otherwise you will get engaged upon, which means that there's going to be a gap in space right about here, right? So we see that they're controlling space here, they're controlling space here, they're controlling space here. So they've got pretty much all of that space, right? If they see that the Arma or the Blaziken has to recall, they have to pull their line back to like right here, right? And so that gives the blue team more space to fill in afterwards. Either way, this is not how you do it. Taking a team fight here is suboptimal. It does not create any advantages for you. It doesn't create any pressure. The enemy doesn't have anything to respond to. This is where they're most comfortable. In fact, obviously, they're even slightly ahead with how far ahead this Dodrio and how much experience it's gotten just by stealing a couple of objectives. And so, in this scenario, this is actually not an advantageous team fight for you. They also know you have to come in. So, without creating some sort of pressure, you're completely fucked. And that's exactly what's going to happen here, right? You have what is. They even give you a positional advantage by just giving you free space because their LD steps forward way too far for no reason. That's not the LD. I don't even know. Their LD steps way too far for no reason and then has to back out. And then you do what is probably the most egregious portal bat take back, like I said earlier. He runs back through this instead of just either jumping with the Pika or having the Hoopa use ult. In which case, like, I still think that if the Hoopa uses ult here, you can win this fight. And then you do what is the most egregious option here and you die. And now, at this point, this fight is completely unwinnable. Because the Leafeon's going to get caught. And now you've got both staggered respawns, right? So your team's not coming back at the same time. And it's a 3v5. So let's say, the tree, these 3 by 14 seconds. But as tree respawns, he dies, right? Well, now it's going to be like 14, and he's going to have like a 20-second respawn timer, right? And so in that scenario, Leafeon's going to be at 8, and then once Leafeon hits like, we'll say like 3, Pika dies. Pika now has a 20 respawn timer. This was 5 seconds. He still has a 15. Pika now has 20, and he has a 0, right? So he's back alive. 0 respawn timer means you're alive. So, well now, right, even though both of the teammates that have died have respawned, it's still a 3v5. You have staggers, and there's no way you're ever winning this fight because you're going to be down consistently fighting a 3v5. They will eventually wipe you. And so that's how this game is going to end. It's just, this is abhorrent gameplay from Blue. Despite the drafting from Red, they played it relatively well, but they didn't, but I'm lying. This is just some abhorrent stuff that we're seeing here. Early pad breaks for no reason, that like have no positional advantages, and then, from there it just spirals as you give them more XP for free. Yeah, so I don't know, man. Anyways, they should just get right here for free and the game is over. Okay, well, we have to watch a third game of this because life is out to get me apparently. Anything interesting here? Dragonite has been not helpful both games. I don't necessarily mind Jungle having a lower percent XP damage rate because I think they should not be fighting as much. I think they should be farming more, but I think that this is probably still a little bit too low. It's a little bit too close to the Hoopa for my liking. I also still think that you can see here that like I think that the damage output is being hampered more on the Leafeon than it is on the Pikachu. The Pikachu's not getting any value out of the cursed items. 63,000. So it's not actually a whole lot of healing done, and even then, it's not even fucking worth it. I hate cursed items, man. All of the items in this game suck so much ass. Um, I'm not watching this replay. I'm gonna tilt. Okay. How long have we been going for? An hour and 20 minutes. Okay, we changed up the bans this time and we banned Dodrio. This makes no sense because you want them to pick Dodrio, because if they're gonna keep picking the worst 1-2 of all time, I would feast on that. I think the issue is that you're just picking a dive comp when like if you just picked a straight up like anti-engage or like a protect comp, it makes it impossible to play because they don't have the tools to engage as a full team, and you force the Dodrio to play solo, and so that's where I'd go with it. Zation, fine. I'm surprised we are not just perma sticking on Mew. That champion is fucking completely broken. And so that's a little interesting to me. Um, Fuck, I'm gonna have to watch this game. Okay. So immediately, I have no problem with B1 Umbreon. Don't. I assume one of these is going to be an XP share. Um, but I don't like the non XP share, but I don't mind B1 Umbreon. Um, Again, I fucking hate this Leafeon XP share nonsense. It's a misunderstanding of why XP share on Mew and XP share on Pikachu works as a concept, and because game one went well for them, they think it's probably playable or it's been working in scrims because scrims are inherently faster paced and better for Gradmons like Leafeon. But it's not actually good. It's a misunderstanding of why XP share works the way it does. I like Karma though. It's the fucking bus meme where I'm looking at Leafeon and I'm like dooming, and then ooh Armarouge, Poggers. Uh, yeah, no problem with that. Um, I don't like Ho-Oh here. Like I said, I think it's a relatively conditional one. Um, I also don't like it with XP share, but we'll see if that sticks. Um, I also don't think that you want to pick Ho-Oh here, because they're showing the same comp. They're showing Poke, because to me this is a Poke comp. I know that people like to run Aerial Ace Leaf or Razor Leaf for whatever reason. But it makes no sense to run Razor Leaf here. Again, Solar Blade is better because it's double poke. You use the Armor Stun and then you immediately follow up with a Solar Blade directly on top, dealing a fuck ton of damage. And then you just do nothing from there. So you don't need to do anything from there, I suppose is a better phrasing. But yeah, I don't know why they're going for that. I don't like it here that much. And even then, I think that it's just rough. Uh, I don't know what to think about this. Like, I think compositionally it makes little to no sense, but I also don't know if they have something cooked up that will make it make. Actually, you know what? I'm not trusting these guys. These guys they're playing XP Share Leafeon. Why the fuck am I giving them the benefit of the doubt? No, no, no. This is a dumb pick. It makes no sense. Gudra is like a drain tank, and you don't need a drain tank here. It's not gonna help you. I don't. Also, it just makes no sense here. I don't understand why you're playing it. Um, I don't have a huge problem with LD. Like I said, I don't know why we're not just playing Blissey. Um, but okay, LD is fine. Also, fucking double cursed items again. Double stacking on your. Um, okay, Mewtwo Y is fine. It's a dive. Excuse me, excuse me. It's a dive ADC. It's not the dive ADC I would have picked, but it's a dive ADC. Same with Serena. I think it's fine. Um, I actually like this comp a lot in terms of where it's at. I don't like this and this together because I think that they're both XP hungry mons. Um, but I think that it's fine. Like they've surprisingly developed a relatively well themed comp where as long as the Ho-Oh goes the set that he should, which is the burning wing plus defensive curl shield thing, um, he should be fine because he can just go dive in, even though he's not necessarily a great dive mon. But we have dive here, we have dive here. All of these mons, like, they have relatively similar power spikes, I'd say. Like, a lot of them around their ults or their second Evo. And so I think that it's pretty fine, honestly. I genuinely don't hate this draft, which is a surprising statement. Obviously, I reserve final judgment to make sure that they get rid of one of these for an XP share. Um, but I don't hate it, hate it. That said, uh, I don't mind Tree here. I think it's fine, but see, here's the thing. I wouldn't hate both of these comps because this is a pretty nice dive comp, and I think that this is actually an okay protect or poke comp, depending on how they pivot towards it, right? Where I don't think they're gonna play it like a poke comp. I think it's probably gonna be more like a protect comp, right? Because they could go like full on poke with like even then I don't think it's a really good poke. It's not a poke comp. It'd be a protect comp, right? These two sort of playing like drain tanks in the front line, and then LD stopping any sort of engage from even happening. Um, like I genuinely think that if this Leafeon goes Solar Blade, this is a very good, well developed comp, and it like kind of makes me hate the Gudra a little bit less just because I don't love it. But hold up, let me just fucking let me check something. Gudra is special, right? No, it's not. It's physical. Why did I think it was special defender? It is special. I'm tripping. I was right. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate. I don't hate it. Like, I don't think Gudra is good here on 3. I think I'd rather switch these two. That way you see the that way like you have the ability to make sure that the Gudra doesn't get owned in lane. But I just don't like how weird it is. And I think I'm just predisposed against Gudra. I think it's probably a fine pick to be honest. I'm just like I'm hating a little bit. But like I think that this side could be a relatively good protect comp because like Gudra can play a relatively solid protect, relatively solid protect, and then you have like two pretty okay damage dealers with some range. But like the biggest issue is that like even if the Leafeon is here, I don't know how you're supposed to actually like get like I know this Leafeon's gonna go fucking Razor Leaf. That's the issue. I know this Leafeon's gonna go Razor Leaf because they have no discernibility of what's actually happening within the game. Anyways, let me see items. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Wait. Okay, so I don't hate. Okay, so items. Um, I don't like this. That's bad if you're going damage, I think. It doesn't make sense to have that there. Like I said, I don't love this. I'd also don't love that. I think Resonant Guard is probably better. Um, that's fine. I think it sucks that you drop Rapid Fire Scarf. The only issue is I think you really want Rapid Fire Scarf. That's the only thing I have a problem with is that I think you really do want Rapid Fire Scarf. And like I we'll see, obviously. We'll see it in action. But I think you're really gonna want like it's really gonna hurt this mon not to have Rapid Fire Scarf. We'll see. That's my big critiques here. I don't love this again, but yeah, I think it's whatever. They they're not okay. I actually don't mind this now that they've gotten the XP share off the Leafeon. It's probably gonna be a level 4 gank, which I also hate, but you win some, you lose some. At least it's not an XP share Leafeon, you know? Like to be honest, I'll take what I can get in terms of not having to watch the worst items. No. Oh, I don't. Double defender top is icky. It. I don't think there's like a good theoretical argument against it, but I feel weird watching it. And even then, if you're gonna go double defender top, why are you not giving the more XP hungry Mon, which is the Ho-Oh, the ability to be XP hungry without XP share? Like, why do you give the Mon that needs XP more XP share? I don't fucking get it. Like, I don't. It makes no sense. Like, whatever you're doing is. Oh, and more. Yep, it's level 4 gank. Okay. Um, yeah, I don't get it. Okay. What are we looking at here though? I mean, early trading is taking place. I think this is good for the Sarah Edge. Wait, the Leafeon didn't level 4 gank? Actually? Okay. Okay. Wait, but what is it doing? It's in the middle. Why is it? Okay. Okay, so it's just big flank. But it took so long on the flank that it gets so late that it just dies. Why did it run through mid? I don't get it. Running through mid there makes 0 sense. How's the Serena level 6? What the fuck? Okay, well, they're just getting outskilled. Well, like, the... Anyways, you know what? I should just revel in the fact that the worst team comp lost to this game. Which hasn't been true. I mean, I guess it was true in game 1. That the worst team comp did lose. But it hasn't been true for most of the series. Then again, it looks like they still could lose this game for some reason. I genuinely think it probably should go Mean Look here. I think Mean Look with the Cereledge going the like the weeb attack probably means that you want to go towards Mean Look. That way nobody can get out of that Cereledge attack ever, and they're stuck in it. Like I think that that's the advantage that you're giving yourself with that. The Sleepyon's dead. Does get the ice, the very least. I don't like the extremely early pad breaks again. We're doing it for no reason. I don't know. I think the first team that actually figures out that you can just not break pads is gonna go goofy. Okay. I mean, the Mewtwo Y has not looked awful, to be honest. I can understand the value of giving it XP share. I think that it's not bad since it, especially since it doesn't need the Evo, like a Leafeon would, or an Umbreon would. But yeah, yeah, I don't have a huge problem with it actually. I think it's been playing relatively well. Definitely usable. Um, that said, I think this game is over. I don't see how, if you're red side, you win this without a massive throw. Because it's not even like score is a factor here. It's again that like Sarina level 13, Sarah Ledge level 12. You know, everybody's level 10 plus, and you still have like level 9s. Your highest level is an 11. They're already pushing down both of your bot pads. The XP that you're getting from, being advantaged by having your pads broken is getting stolen from you. And so there's not actually a lot of value there. They're not making it out. Yeah, this game is unwinnable. At least it should be unwinnable if blue team plays it to even like a mediocre level. Because like I just don't see how you're doing anything here. Okay, big mega. That's a good mega timing. That's something that I am interested in to see is like we saw, especially in like PC League, like with the release of Gnar and people being really good at like timing the Gnar bar. I wonder if people will get better at timing the Mega Bar with how the new Mews are a little bit more or the new Mewtwo's are a little bit more slightly restrictive on how they function in regards to that, especially with like using up the AOS energy to pop into Mega. I mean, you have no pressure to start it here. Good get out by Sarah Ledge. It's crazy that they're doing it this game, but they weren't able to do it last game. Like, damn, look at how crazy it is that when you split 4-1 and you force them to respond to pressure, you're able to create advantages for yourself that normally don't exist. You still get owned by an Umbreon, but, this game was infinitely closer than it should have been because you were able to create something that was not supposed to happen via a, via some pressure movements within the. Wait, why are they fighting? No, 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 don't fight, don't fight. Okay, 30 seconds here. You just need to stall. Yeah. I mean, even then, that's crazy work to be able to even come close to that fight. Yeah, this is damage farming. This is also why damage stats don't fucking matter. Because, like, 90% of the shit is this. Like, it doesn't matter. Okay. That was one of the worst series I think I've ever watched. And somehow NA is gonna be probably worse, but, I'm gonna call the stream there, to be honest. I don't want to watch more of this shit. Thanks to everybody for stopping by. Thanks to everybody who is checking out the video as well. Have a great day.